Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a special episode of Chef of Bergamo. I'm going to make my brother's famous French baguettes. And I'm going to do something a little different here today. I'm going to show you a couple techniques, a couple different ideas, and we're going to do comparisons. Do you really need to have special flour? Do you need to have distilled water? We'll compare side by side. Show you how easy it is. It may take some time, but the labor's not too bad. And it's fun to do with the family. So let's get at it. Chef of Bergamo is going to be making French baguettes. Exactly, Mickey. So here we are. We're going to start off with comparing two types of flour. So we have the King Arthur all-purpose flour. You got 11.7% protein. We really want some gluten in this. So I'm going to make one batch with the King Arthur and one batch with this Tipo 00, the 00 Italian unbleached grano tenero flour. And just want to give you guys an idea. We're still having breakfast here. 7 o'clock in the morning. So we're going to start it. We're going to start with a Poolish, a sponge or a biga, whatever your language you prefer. Kids are having breakfast. While they're having breakfast, I'm going to start the Poolish. So it's really going to be 3/4 cup of water, maybe a cup and 3 tablespoons of flour, and 1/8 of a teaspoon of the yeast. So let me get these measured out and added, and I'll show you what to do. Is it somebody's birthday, Mickey? Yeah. All right, check back in a minute. All right, so here's the sponge for the regular all-purpose flour. 3/4 cup of warm water, about 110 degrees. 1/8 of a teaspoon of your instant yeast. And then 1 cup of flour and an additional 3 tablespoons. So I've got the same thing going on here. And my lovely assistant is going to start measuring out this flour.
Of course I am.
Of course you are.
I'm the lovely assistant.
You are the lovely assistant. So let's put it in here slowly. Perfect. Let's put it in here slowly.
Okay, I got it. I got it.
You got it? Slowly. Slowly. Good job.
Okay.
Okay. So now we're going to do...
Stir it?
Now we're going to do 3 tablespoons.
3 tablespoons.
No, that's the same thing you're going to do with that. Get your knife out. Get your knife out.
Got it.
Got it? Lovely assistant. Nope, a little bit more this way. Perfect. Perfect. That's 1. And Mickey, you'll have your turn in a minute, okay? When it's time to stir. Alright, we're going to add the other 2 tablespoons, and then I'll start mixing this up. Okay, so my lovely assistant is stirring this special flour.
And it's still sticky.
And this is the other material, and you can see it's kind of like a pancake batter or something. That's fine.
It looks like sticky.
And so this is fine. You know, we're going to let this sit for 8 to 10 hours. That's why we start in the morning. We'll get this resting till the mid-afternoon. Kind of add some more flour at the next step for the dough. And then we will get it sitting overnight again.
I love my lovely assistant.
And I love my lovely assistant, that's right. Well, then we'll get it sitting overnight. So this is why you start in the morning. We will have this tomorrow around lunchtime. So
Wait,
that's what you need to plan.
What is this again?
That's what you need to plan, okay? So we'll check back after I cover this with some plastic wrap. So it's nearly 4 o'clock, just 4 o'clock. So we've covered these in the saran wrap. I've taken the saran wrap off, obviously. I'm trying to get a sense of how this sponge, this Poolish, has gone. And you see a lot of bubbles here. That means that that yeast is fermented very nicely. And it looks like, if I was to compare the two, that they're both about the same size. It looks like there's a little more bubbles coming out of the standard all-purpose flour. They really haven't popped. Maybe they popped here. I don't know. But that's fine. We just want to get the yeast going. And clearly the yeast is going. So I'm gonna set down the video camera. I'm gonna start measuring out some flour, start mixing and eating this stuff. I'll show you what we're gonna do for that. Okay, so through the sponge to the Poolish, I've added half a cup of water, half a teaspoon of yeast, and a teaspoon of salt. And my lovely assistant is out playing, and Mickey's watching Elmo, so I guess I'm gonna have to do this myself. So to this, and this is the 00 batch. So to this, I'm gonna add 2 cups of the flour and mix that in. Get that nice and incorporated. That's 1 cup. I'll get the 2nd cup added, and then I'm gonna set this on the table, and I'll knead this. Let me get this added and incorporated. Get it nice, kneaded down. Okay, so I've lightly kneaded this, just softly kneaded it. And it's not perfect. This isn't that baby's backside perfect dough. But we're not ready to finish this yet. I'm just gonna set this back in the bowl, and then I'm going to cover it again with the plastic and let it rest for 20 minutes. And this is what the French bakers say gives the baguette part of its great flavor. Let it rest, let some of that gluten can start to form. Then we'll take it back out after 20 or 30 minutes and do a real mechanical kneading, pounding, slamming of the dough to stretch it. But we want to let it rest for about 20 minutes just after we've incorporated all the ingredients. Okay, so these have been rested for more than 30 minutes and I've been kneading it. And now we're going to do some fun, big elastic type of mechanical gluten development, and get yourself excited, make some noise, see how elastic you want this dough. Yeah! Get a little energy, get a little excitement. Mickey's gonna come over here and help me in a minute. 1, 2, 3. And you want to do this for a good 20 minutes. And it may look like a lot, but it's fun. And then you can like throw the dough at someone. And what you want to get this very elastic. Get that window pane effect. There's Mickey in the background. He wants to see and participate. But just keep working it. Enjoy it. And as you can see, over time, this rudimentary dough is going to get very soft and elastic. Very stretchy. And that's what you want. You want a good incorporation, mixture. And that, kneading process, super kneading, is really going to help with the gluten and get you the crunchy, crusty bread on the outside and the chewy crumb in the middle. All right, so I'm going to do this for a little bit more, get this where we want it, and then I'm going to set it aside for another 30 minutes, deflate it, and then wait 2 hours. Enjoy. Maybe put a little sound effects in. Something like that. That's the way to do it. All right? Check back in a bit. So after that lengthy kneading, I let the dough rest for 30 minutes, and then I kind of folded it, and then I let it rest for another hour and a half. And now I'm going to take this beautiful dough, nice, and cut it in half because I'm going to make 2 loaves. Voila. Let's leave that right there for right now. And then you can see the bubbles kind of forming in this, which means that we're getting a very good rise. I'm going to flatten it like this, and then we're gonna fold it like 50% of the way. 50% of the way, 50% of the way, 50% of the way, 50% of the way. Kind of tuck that in. Then we're going to do it again. Put your thumb here and fold it all the way. See the bubbles kind of forming there? That's going to be great. 50% all the way over to the edge. Keep your thumb in there. You're going to create some pockets there that are going to be great. That crumb is going to look spectacular when it's baked. Like that. Okay. Now, you don't want to do this rolling. We're not rolling out dough for pizza. So you want to keep your thumbs, you want to fold it this way, pull this way, keeping the bottom fingers there so that you can keep it tight on the bottom there. And you're going to do the same thing from the other side with your thumbs. To kind of get this nice and round, a nice surface. And do again here with the bottom of my fingers, one more with the thumb, and then we're gonna lengthen out the little edges here, and then we're gonna throw it on the baguette pan. Okay? Now these two here are the ones with the 00. This is the one with the all-purpose flour. As you can see right now, they look the same. We'll see when we bake them tomorrow. We'll do the same thing with this one. I'm gonna throw it on this pan. And what you'll be able to see is, do you need to buy yourself a baguette pan, or can you just use any cookie sheet? We'll see. We'll see tomorrow how they turn out. We're gonna pack these in a Ziploc container, put it in the refrigerator overnight, let it sit probably 12 to 16, 17 hours, and then we'll be ready to put them in the oven, and we'll look at that tomorrow. So good night, everybody, and we'll check back in tomorrow. Okay, I took these out of the refrigerator about an hour ago. I've got the oven on to 500 degrees Fahrenheit, and I've got like an egg white water mix to put a little glaze on these. I'm going to sprinkle this on, brush this on a little bit. And as you can see, these kind of have plumped up very nicely overnight. Again, I put them in the refrigerator, covered them with a damp towel, and then I stuck them in. I put a little cover over them, put a little plastic over them, or a two gallon Ziploc bag. Just kind of spread this out. And then the most important thing with a baguette is you got to make some cross marks on it, because the bread is going to explode with the heat. So you could take a knife, or you could take a scissors, and you could slice some hatches in the bread like that. Make sure you wash your scissors before you do this. I just got one right there. Made a mistake. And then I kind of like clamp those down, because this make it a little sharp edges, because this is going to be a very crusty bread. Okay? All right. So now I'm going to put this in the oven. I'll show you how to do that in 1 second. Okay, so I've got this at 500. I got a pizza stone in there, and I've taken them off that baguette bread container, and I've slid them onto a pan so that I can very easily spread them out onto the pizza stone. So, as you can see, I've got a pan of water underneath there. That's providing some steam, and then I took a spray bottle and spray a little bit of steam, a little bit of water in there, and that'll help crust up the bread. Now I'm going to close this, 10 minutes, check out the bread, turn it over, maybe another 10 minutes. Check back in 10 minutes. So, we've already eaten one of the baguettes, as you can see, and I'm going to cut into this one here. This is the standard all-purpose flour. And what you can see here is, looks like the crumb is about the same. The crust is just the same. So I would think that there is no difference right now between the 00. There's no difference between the 00 and the standard all-purpose flour. One thing to note, this baguette here, I did not put that egg wash glaze on top, and it looks like it just made it a little browner. So maybe that egg wash there just allows it to protect it a little bit. But this is going to be just as good. No worries there. So when it's all said and done, I think you can go with the all-purpose flour. This is some good bread. I want to thank my brother for a fantastic recipe, and we'll enjoy some baguettes here. Bald Chef of Bergamo. Good eats, hot treats. Celeste, do you like the bread? Celeste, what do you think about the baguettes? Do you like them?
Yes, very much, and they're very tasty over here.
All right.
As you can see, we already ate that one, right, Daddy?
That's right. What do we say at the end? Bald Chef of Bergamo?
No, you say it.
I said, Bald Chef of Bergamo. Good eats, hot treats.